What's up, everybody? It's Stephen Williams, founder and president of the CreditRepairShop.com. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about the debt that's being released in the market. It is jumping up. This probably is an alert to say that things are very close to going back to normal. Very close. And also, I'm going to talk about getting collections, getting charge-offs, write-offs, bad debt resolved on your credit reports. I see a lot of people on YouTube. I'm not gonna call any names out, but they're trapping us. If you're not from the African American community, this might be news to you, or maybe you might know this, but for some reason in our community, uh, we lose. We lose, and the biggest reason why we lose is because we run and we don't resolve. We don't get things where they need to be. Not saying all of us, but a lot of us. Like, we look for the quick fix. That's why our neighborhoods, when you go around them, it's all quick fixes. Title loan places, quick fix. Payday loan place, quick fix. Um, Check cash in place, quick fix. Instead of going to a bank and having a real account. We got a lot of fast food, quick fix. Don't want to make it at home. We got a lot of buy here, pay here places for rent a center and these furniture places. We got a lot of buy here, pay here for car places, and it's because we don't understand as a group the long haul, the getting things done and resolved so we can move on. We always looking over our back for something that we took a quick fix on to come back and hunt us down, and we had to end up paying more money to resolve it. Uh, what I talk about is we need to get things resolved, and so I'm gonna go back. Let's first talk about the debt that's being released on the market. Just got a couple of emails. Uh, it's starting to get hot now. The first thing that I see here is education loans. And we all know that these education loans, depending on what type, they could, you have a easier chance of taking a snowball and it not melting in a fire than getting out of the student loan. But this one here, it's only 400, little under 500,000, 135 accounts. The states that they were from was from Maryland, Texas, North Carolina, DC, New York, and it looks like it was for people that were trucking companies, trucking company. I guess where they taught people how to drive the trucks. Didn't pay the loans. Average account $3,688. Charge off date 2016, November 2016. So for most states, not past statute of limitations for most states, and but also because it's a student loan, it may not matter. But let me tell you how you can get out of one of these if this company, or if any education company that you worked with was part of having a fraudulent school where they were not accredited, they lied to you. You can get that loan forgiven. You can have it forgiven, but you have to find out if they're on that list. I'm going to put a link below this video, or you can also search on my channel for a video that I did on student loans, and there's a link also in there that has the list. It's updated on a daily basis of thousands. I think at one time there was over 17,000 of these pop-up schools that were getting just to get people to get loans from. They were not legit, and people were getting loans, and even when they finished the school, they found out that they could not get accredited. So let's hold on 1 second. I'm going to find the other account. Okay, and then here's another account: mixed lenders, national credit card debt, mixed banks. Um, Charge off date is, well, let me go with the amount. It's $1.1 million, 522 accounts. Charge off date 2010 to 2014. But the average charge off date was 2012. I've never seen it where they put that on there. So this was most likely past statute of limitations for almost every state except for the three that have the long ones, the 10-year and the 15-year. Average balance $2,100. They're selling the total package for only $6,000. I mean, I don't know. They buy these because there's so much profit in them, and people just don't know their rights with this. So quickly to review, what you do is if you get a letter in the mail from a debt collector, first thing you need to do is you need to check your credit reports, look at the original charge-off date. From the original charge-off date, then you would know if it's past statute. Well, you need to check your state for statute of limitations on contract law for your specific state. If it's past the statute of limitations, then you just simply write them a letter notifying them that according to the laws in your state that the debt that they're attempting to collect is past the statute of limitations, and you want them to cease all collection activities, or you will report them to the proper authorities in your state. And when you do that, you also tell them that what the proper authorities is the state attorney general's office and the Department of Financial Institution, or the banking, whoever regulates banking in your state. That they also, the banking, who regulates banking also regulates the debt collection companies. And let me see if I got another one here. Okay, so that was the only one that I got right now. I could do a quick search just to see if I missed something yesterday. Sometimes I do miss. Sometimes I do. Let's see here. I think I had talked about this one. National credit card company, 6.5 million. Charge off 2008. I think I mentioned that one last week, but it's 1949 accounts. They did not put a price on this one here, but this only one state would not pass statute of limitations, is not past statute of limitations for contracts on these. So this file should be considered dead. I mean, I don't know how they're gonna want to collect it. So now let's get into talking about, and I want to get my time part here for you that don't like hearing certain stuff. And I'm getting a lot of text right now from employees. When it comes to removing negative credit, first step is to identify, and you do that by getting your reports, and you identify if it's past statute of limitations. You're wanting to look at that first, because you could have forgotten to the letter when it came in the mail, didn't respond to it, and that allows them to go to step 2, which is to put it on your credit reports. By you not responding is like you saying yes. A lot of people, I've seen someone even wrote on my YouTube channel, they said if you get when you get stuff like this, you just ignore it. And but this is the thing. In the eyes of the law, the way that the laws have been written, because of the lobbyists for the debt collection companies, lobbyists for creditors, is that when you don't respond, you're saying yes. When you don't respond, you're saying, yes, this debt is mine. I know that sounds crazy, but how does it end up on your credit reports? If you don't respond, and you, even if it's a debt that's past statute of limitation, even if it's a debt that is not yours, there's a ton of people putting videos up on debts that is, this is an erroneous debt. They should never have put this on your report. And they're telling you all these things to get it off your reports. But it seems that they skip over how the hell it got on your reports. They're skipping over that there's legal precedents. It's legal for them to put it on your reports because you ignored the letter. Just seems like everybody seems to want to just skip over that type of stuff. And that's why when I started the video, I say we lose because we run. I want us to stop running. I want us to start understanding what we are in the middle of so we can start fixing these things. And so when you don't respond to that letter that comes in the mail that says you have 30 days to dispute it, and that debt is not yours, or that debt is past statute of limitations, or you just don't remember if the debt is yours, and you don't respond, you're saying yes. Shake your head like this. If I don't respond, I'm saying yes to the debt. So now step 2 is now you need to go into the first step. Like this is like the elementary step of credit repair, which is doing a dispute and validating the debt. Everybody with all credit repair companies is going to do that. Everybody. If they don't do that, then they're not even legitimately a credit repair company. What everybody does not do is what I'm going to talk about right now. This is what sets us apart. And I'll even admit, when we get to this phase with customers, a lot of customers, not a lot, some customers are just not prepared to go here, because this is where success and failure, like that road is right there. Like here's the road to failure, here's the road to success, and that client is right there, and they're looking at both of those roads and they're like, which one do I want to go down? But the crazy thing about it is that if the customer, in their mind, they're thinking that they have 2 choices, but really they have 1 choice, and the other choice will be made for them. And that choice is, are they going to move into settlements? Are they going to confront, and that's what I say confront the fear and start the process of resolution so they can move on with their life. This is a step where when, and this is not talking about us as people. This is just putting it down where the rubber meets the road, and where I see success in other groups and I see failure, a lot of failure when it comes to us. When I see success with our community, with the customers that we work with, is that when it comes down to meeting that fork in the road, the ones that become successful are the ones that say, let's start moving and settling these accounts. Let's stop running. They say, let's stop running. Even though we're telling them you need to stop running, we need to start resolving these so you can move on. In their own mind, they realize it's time to stop running. It's time to be able to move forward, because when they start going down that road, all of a sudden things start to happen that make going down that road a lot easier. It's because their mindset has changed. Maybe there was a creditor where they owed $1,000 to. That creditor said, "Hey, let's just move on this $200 and it's over." Maybe there was another creditor. Something came up where we found a technicality when we were getting the negotiations done, and we said, "No, this account can't be settled because we've been made aware from your documentation that you sent us that this account is not valid." These were things that they were not sharing when we were in the first initial dispute and validation phase. They were hiding this information, but it becomes more aware when we start getting documentation and start moving down the settlement road. We're reviewing stuff and we're saying this is not legit. You did not make us aware of this. This account cannot be settled, and this account needs to be forgiven. But what I see a lot of people doing, I see it a lot on YouTube. I see it is very prevalent on YouTube, and it's setting our people up for failure. You see the numbers, you see where there's problems in our community that just, it's like, why do we keep running into these same problems when it comes to being able to build wealth? And that's because our wealth is just being taken away from us. Being taken away from us because we don't resolve things that allow us to be able to experience things that allow us to keep more of our money. If you have unresolved debts that must be settled, that are not going to be resolved by just simply challenging over and over and over again on your credit reports, you're not going to be able to move forward. And just because you get something off your credit reports does not mean the debt goes away. That's another misconception that a lot of these people just don't tell you. It can come off of your credit reports, but that does not mean that it goes away. That could just be a technicality. Not to say that every time it does come off that it fits that category, but what I'm saying is that if it comes off, it could be a technicality, and you need to have your if you are working with a credit repair company, they're going to have to still do that resolution to make sure that validation with the creditor or the credit collection company to make sure that that debt is not valid, or it can come back around and haunt you in the future. So step one, validate with the bureaus, validate with the collection company or the original creditor. Step two, if it gets to going into settlements, you need to negotiate the lowest amount on a debt. Takes a lot of going back and forth. There may be some disclosure of financials that need to be disclosed, and then you move to settle so you can move forward. Because on the other side of that is, dealing with an account that just signed up yesterday, husband and wife, they have credit in 600s. Hold on, I need to enter this. Sorry about that. That was my daughter there. But husband and wife signed up, and they bought a car, and they had noticed, because of their unresolved debt, like they gave them or some unresolved items on their reports. Very little, too. Unresolved items on their reports. They ended up paying $200 a month more for a car. And there was also some other things that I let them become aware of, too, is that I believe that they were taken advantage of by the car dealer because their scores were high enough to qualify to get a lower interest rate. And that's another thing, is that from our community, sometimes they make you think hey, we're doing you a favor, even though you're the one that's paying the money back. You're the one that's paying for the car. You're the one that's taking out the loan. But they make it like we're doing you a favor to allow you to get the car, to get the loan, us make money on bringing the loan to this bank, and us making it's a favor for the bank to give you the money and pay them back so they can make profit back. They put us in that mindset. And so I made them aware of, number one, that they were taking advantage of, even with the credit that they had. The wife's credit, she has two of them that's over 700, and they gave them a 5.5% loan on the car. People with 700s usually get a point. With some of them, they do like about a 1.9% or 2.9% on most loans that when you're in the 700s. Now you can almost get 0% for a certain period of time because they already got the profit built into the car. So this is where we lose, because we don't know, either because we run, and they used, to back up a little, they used that small, I'm talking about small unresolved item on their reports. They used that against them to justify jacking up the interest rate, and that they would have been able, if they would have shopped around, they would have been able to get a 2.75, 2.99 at the high. That would have been the worst case scenario. But because we let things go and they're not resolved, we end up paying. Pay more because you go to a check cashing. I had found out one time that one of my employees was taking his paycheck and going there, cashing it. And I was like, add up, how much did they charge? They were charging him like $8, $9, depending on what the amount of the check was. And I was like, add that up every week. Gets paid every week. Add that up every week. That's money you're losing. You could have invested that money. You could have put that in the savings. Even going to a time machine, I'm notorious for this. I never go to a time machine that is not my bank. Years ago, 20 some years ago, I learned that lesson, how that adds up. People are paying $600-$700 a year in fees by going to other banks' time machines. Even if your bank says that they're not charging you, the other bank will charge you the fee. So don't do that. I mean, it's just so many things, but the purpose, the theme of this video, the lesson in this video is, don't leave things unresolved. Don't go for the quick fix. Sometimes it may take longer. Sometimes you might have to go down the road that you didn't think you wanted to go down, but to get it resolved to where you don't have to look over your shoulder, some of the times you have to go down that road. And this is what people that I see that are popping up videos on YouTube, they're not telling people this. So we have to get ourselves as a community into a better position. We just have to do it. So we just have to do it. I know I'm rambling a little bit in this video, but we just have to do it. And what I want for everyone is, I want everybody to start focusing on how they're going to change their lives right now, because we're going through this national emergency. This is the time to start thinking about, not to think about, to first ask yourself what you want, and then put together a strategy to get there, and then start focusing on the goal. The strategy to get there is going to change, is going to get updated, downdated, upgraded, downgraded as you move forward, but you need to start thinking about how you want to change, how you want this year to be able to be the beginning of something different that you've probably wanted your life to be like. Like, this is the time to do it when all of this disruption is happening, because people are focused on themselves a lot. That when you try to when you change, not try, when you start to change, people may think you were already that way. You'll be surprised how when you change, when there's a lot of disruption going on and things get back to normal and you've changed, you've done things different for yourself, to make yourself better, whatever that change is going to be. Some of the people may not even realize it, because of how focused they were, because time is a weird thing. Like, right now, people are so focused on themselves to where even if something is changing right in front of them, they don't really see it and understand it. And so when things go back to normal and you've made these changes on what you're gonna do to better yourself, don't be surprised if people don't even realize it, and don't make them try to see it and understand it. You just keep moving forward and doing it, because you might be shocked and you'll be like, what are they thinking? And you'll start to understand that people really don't care nothing about most other people. Like, we mainly have the capacity to care about the people that are right around us. But as the far out that circle goes, you have less capacity to really think and care as much as you may think about those people. And what that makes happen in reality is that if that person changes their reality, it automatically can change the reality of that individual that they knew, or change the look of how they look at that person, how they look at you. And you'll be wondering, like, they don't even remember how you used to be. Or they can have the opposite effect, to where they won't let go of the way they used to think about you. And that's where you'll end up severing ties with that individual, is because they have a concept in their mind that you cannot be better yourself because you're the same as them and they didn't better themselves. That's a weird thing that happens, especially when you have two people that were right, growing up with each other, and one is successful and one is not successful. Unless there was something that, like, they won the lottery or something and just got lucky, that person that's not successful will always see that person that is successful as lucky or the same, and they won't give them the acknowledgement. And that's why the person that is successful does not need to seek that acknowledgement from any individual, really, because you know yourself and you know what allowed you to become successful, which was from within, not from people making you successful. And they gave you advice, and they maybe was a mentor, but it still has to come from inside first. And so that person that is not successful, you can't try to make them see you successful. It's just not gonna happen. All right, well, I'm gonna end the video here. I know I went off on this other side here, but I had to do it because I'm seeing things that's leading our community right back down that trail of failure, because they're not telling people the truth about having to resolve debt. And I'm gonna go into more detail about that in some other videos, because I see it getting ready to start up again. Some people did not, they fell into hardship, they didn't get deferments, and now they owe debts that are starting to go into collections, and everybody is talking about running from them instead of resolving them. All right, this is Stephen Williams, founder and president of the CreditRepairShop.com. Please like this video. Please post your comments. Please tell me what you're going to be doing in the future to better yourself, What are you doing right now to make changes that you've always wanted to make? Please subscribe to my channel and please share it so we can get more people to learn this information, to awaken them and make them aware of it. Thanks again. This is Stephen Williams, founder and president of thecreditrepairshop.com. Thank you.